All right, creatures of the night, it is Wednesday night, so you know what that means. AEW Dynamite. Now, we also do have the beginning of the AEW Continental Classic Tournament. So our first match of the night was Swerve Strickland versus Jay Lethal. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I know that they can't have anybody ringside, but it would have been cool just to see Prince Nana just come out with him just to the stage and give us our little dance and all that stuff, but we don't get it. So Prince Nana is still injured with his injury that he sustained with going through that table at Full Gear. So it's cool, whatever. Now, if you're expecting to see something out of the ordinary crazy with these two, definitely not going to happen here, especially after that insane match that Swerve has with Hangman. We don't necessarily get the best out of Swerve Strickland, but I do think that he did the best that he can do after sustaining God knows how many injuries through that death match. Now, his shoulder is taped up, so obviously Jay Lethal has an advantage because of the type of match that Swerve Strickland went through a couple of days ago. Now, 10 minutes into this match, I'm just like, well, what the hell is that on the big screen by the stage? It's an ad of Ric Flair's energy drink, and I'm just like, oh, disgusting. Like, you know, but I know a lot of people like Ric Flair. He had an amazing career, definitely one of the most legendary professional wrestlers of all time, but he's a disgusting person. And I think it's even just as disgusting that Tony Khan talks shit about Vince McMahon, about him being disgusting because of his allegation, but then he hires Ric Flair with the same freaking allegations. Absolutely insane. But that's not here or there. Let's move on. Great match. However, Swerve takes the win with a Swerve Stomp, and he looked great here. If someone did not see the Full Gear match and I would have shown them this after, they would not even believe that Swerve had that match just a couple of days ago. So he did look great, but for this match the energy was lacking a little bit for me. Great win for Swerve. And Tony Khan, if you haven't had Swerve name down to win this shit, put his name down now. He is the right person to win this entire tournament. So now we have Renee Paquette. She's backstage with Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Shibata. Orange Cassidy has asked for this time so he can announce his Thanksgiving surprise announcement, whatever. But then here comes our homie Willa Yuta, who comes and interrupt and says to Orange Cassidy, look, bitch, congratulations on you barely retaining the international title from Jon Moxley after it took like 1 million orange punches and beach breaks and some dog millionaires and all that. You know, the 5 moves of doom that Orange Cassidy has. You were able to retain that title. But then he shifts gears onto Shibata and tells Shibata that he's tired of seeing Shibata with the pure title, and he is going to take that off his waist. Now, Willa Yuta does have a Pure Rules match on Ring of Honor tomorrow, so we'll go a little bit into more details about that during the review tomorrow. However, after Willa Yuta get all that out of his system, he ends up leaving. And then here's Orange Cassidy going to announce his little surprise. But then Renee lets him know that we're out of time. We got a fucking show to run. So now we have our real chachos, MJF and Adam Cole. Adam Cole obviously have the crutches. His foot is fucked up. But MJF is walking around with a cane, still going off this little knee or whatever injury that he got going on. They make it to the ring. MJF starts bragging about himself, and he's like, you know, he's worked hard. He earned the right to brag about himself, especially not just holding the Ring of Honor tag titles, but being AEW World Champion. He's been able to hold it down, and honestly, I agree. So you know what, you want to brag, go ahead and brag. He also gives the mic to Adam Cole. Adam Cole lets us know that he is no way near stepping foot back into the ring. Matter of fact, he can't even fucking walk at this point. So it's going to be a long recovery for Adam Cole. Now, they also address this person in the mask, and while they're talking about that, the lights cut off, and it's this person in a double mask, and they're just laughing, but they have the voice distorted, so you can't tell who it is. So right now, we do have our internet FBIs who are trying to decipher who the fuck laughs like that, and people are giving their opinions on who that person is just by hearing this distorted laugh, whatever. Now after that, we do have Samoa Joe who comes out. Samoa Joe is actually saying nice things about MJF and looks at Adam Cole and says that he's his less adequate friend. And real talk, he ain't lying about that. Now, after saying all these little nice things about MJF, he goes and said, I'm just trying to make sure you're an honorable man, and that since you said you won't give me the title shot after I helped your ass, I just want to make sure you're keeping your word. Now, MJF is like, I thought long and hard about this, but I came down to the conclusion that you can just blow me. And I'm just like, bitch, who the fuck you talking to? When it comes to MJF, I know those people in the back in the production truck, they have their little finger on a button to make sure that when it's time to bleep, it's time to bleep. So they bleeped it, but I watched it back on YouTube, and they actually were able to say blow me on YouTube. So it is what it is. But anyway, MJF goes and lunge at MJF. Samoa Joe lunges towards MJF. And he's upset because, you know, he helped your ass out to make sure that y'all could retain the Ring of Honor title, but now you're going back on your word. Now, here comes Adam Cole being the voice of reason here and ends up making sure that these two don't start fighting in the ring. And he says, look, MJF, do the right thing. You promised him a title shot. He helped you. We have our title still, so you should give him the title shot. So he listens to his friend and he says, you know what? We can go one-on-one tonight. You wouldn't be the first person I beat twice in Chicago. And you know who he's talking about. He is talking about CM Punk. And I'm just like, really, MJF? I'm not even over the whole CM Punk thing and you bringing it up so soon? How could you do this to me? Anyway, Samoa Joe says no, that he wants the fresh MJF. He wants MJF to be at his very best. So they're going to wait to the next pay-per-view, which is World's End, December 30th. It's in New York. If y'all want to go ahead and go. And then, you know, they agree on it, blah, 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 blah. And everything's good. Samoa Joe got his title shot. And Samoa Joe says that he's going to beat him in his city in front of everyone that loves him. And since this is Samoa Joe we're talking about, I absolutely believe him. So now we have Jake Hager, Matt Menard, and Angela Parker getting their jobbers entrance. And they are going against Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Shibata. Now, Orange Cassidy team, they get their little entrances and they come on out. However, Orange Cassidy has his little Thanksgiving surprise, and it turns out to be Danhausen. Now, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Danhausen was gonna come out on Halloween, but that didn't happen. So they end up pushing it to Thanksgiving, so I guess that's okay. Danhausen, I love his character and all that stuff. I love the way he looks. You guys obviously can tell, like, I do wear his merch and I have a poster of him in my wall or whatever, but we haven't really got a chance to see the best of him in AEW, so I can't say I was all hyped up to see him. Now, he's ringside while the other three are doing their thing. This match is absolutely skippable, and one of the reasons why is the predictability. It's just like, who the hell is going to go against Orange Cassidy, Shibata, and Hook and actually win? And it's just really annoying to see the same old thing every single time. I just don't know, like, who's just sitting back there and just saying the same old things that everybody's like, yeah, that's a great idea. We did this already, but this is a really good idea. Now, during this match, obviously, I think all three of the members with Jake team, they were gonna do like a power bomb together onto Shibata, but then here comes Danhausen distracting Jake, and he pulls out Jake's purple hat and he wears it. Jake is obviously upset about this because he hasn't seen the purple hat since he gave it to Jericho. Now he's chasing him around for the hat or whatever, and Danhausen curses him. And I guess that's the reason why they lost the match. I don't know. It's just not fun or whatever. But it was great to see Shibata, who was there. That man is just he's just perfect to me. Like, everything he do in the ring is absolutely flawless. I don't know why they put him in this foolishness, but it was great to see him back in the ring. So Adam Cole is backstage with Renee Paquette. He is getting ready to leave. You gotta get the hell out of there, go home and rest that foot. Now, here comes Roderick and the Kingdom. And Roderick is just coming to talk and see how Adam Cole is doing. However, Adam Cole is an ungrateful bitch, and he goes and tell Roderick that they're not best friends anymore, and to stay the fuck away from him. He don't want nothing to do with him. And I'm just like, yo, what the? Okay, so he didn't say all that, but that's basically what he said. And I'm just like, wow, what did Roderick ever do to you? Now, when I see things like this, this is what I'm looking at when I tell people that Roderick is the guy in the mask. Like, literally everything is there in terms of why Roderick should be that person in the mask. Like, you see somebody like Adam Cole who is being a complete dick to somebody that's supposed to be his best friend, and it's just like, this is like the perfect villain origin story. Like, I could totally see why Roderick would be that person in the mask, but time will tell. So now we have our stepdaddy, Christian, who's out with the boys. Now, Christian is explaining that they didn't lose that Full Gear because of him. They didn't lose that Full Gear because of Nick Wayne. They lost because of Luchasaurus. Now, he tells Luchasaurus to bend that fucking knee. And Luchasaurus is like, bitch, who the fuck you talking to? And I'm like, are we in Westeros or what? Now, after Christian calls him a moron, he ends up getting on his knee. And Christian is like, look, you're supposed to be my finisher. You're supposed to be the one to handle things and end this match for me. However, you end up taking the L for the team. And he said, you're supposed to be my finisher. So your name is not Luchasaurus anymore. Your name is Killswitch. And I'm just like, oh, it doesn't sound horrible, but I don't know if it fits him. Whatever. Now, he says Nick Wayne's name, and Nick automatically just go onto his knee, and Christian tells him to get his ass up, and he says, never get on your knee for a man. And I'm just like, well, whatever he's into, we don't know, but I get it. He's telling Nick Wayne that he's his favorite, he's his golden child, and how much he loves him. He's so special. He's the son that he's always wanted. And I'm just like, okay, Christian, I knew you was gonna have a favorite. Didn't know it was gonna be so soon. And he says that he's his prodigy or protege, whatever the hell he called him. And then here comes Nick Wayne's mom, and I'm just like, well, we definitely could use some drama in this story. She comes out there. She doesn't get on the mic, but she looks like she's pleading with Nick Wayne to get the hell away from this little cult little thing going on here and come back home to mama. Now, Nick Wayne doesn't want to, and Christian is doing all the talking here and talking about how she was a horrible mother and that Nick Wayne's daddy wished she was a great wrestler like him, wished she was a great father like him, and just pretty much saying all the things to make the audience gasps and oohs and ahs and all that stuff. It's great TV. It's cool. Now, obviously there's some issues here with Nick and the mom, and he doesn't want to go with her. Now, Christian told Mama Wayne to get the step in because her shift at Denny's is about to start, so she might as well go to work. Now, here comes Killswitch. He comes and stands in between Mama Wayne and Christian, and the crowd is going crazy. They're chanting Luchasaurus. They're so happy to see Luchasaurus finally being somebody reasonable and stepping in when someone needs to step in. Now, Christian is getting into arguments with Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus really isn't talking, but he doesn't seem happy about the situation. And then he tells Luchasaurus that if he don't get the fuck out of the way, then he's gonna take that mask off and show everyone why he wears it. And I'm just like, oh my god, that's pretty harsh. But I'm curious to see what's under that mask, because I'm looking at a really nice tall guy with really nice tattoos and a really nice body. I don't mind seeing what that face look like. Now, anyway, Luchasaurus still isn't buzzing, but he's hesitating, so Christian pushes Luchasaurus and he pushes onto Mama Wayne. Mama Wayne is knocked out. Now you're just thinking they're just going to leave her and go, and instead Nick Wayne gets 2 chairs so that they can give her a concerto. Now it was going to be Christian to give her the concerto, however he tells Luchasaurus to go do it. Luchasaurus is about to do it and he's hesitating, and then all of a sudden you hear, "You think you know me," or whatever the hell it is now. Now here comes Adam Copeland running into the ring and gives Nick Wayne a spear, and then Luchasaurus ends up getting out there and ends up dragging Christian out the ring. So then Adam gives Nick Wayne another spear, and he ends up giving him a concerto right in front of Mama Wayne, like she's not standing right there in horror watching her son, her fucked up son, get a concerto. Like, even if it was me, I'd be like, look, I know my son is a badass, but please don't do this in front of me. So she didn't do anything, and he ends up getting the concerto, and everybody's cheering for Adam. Honestly, it was a little bit dragged out, but I actually did enjoy this. I am interested to see what's going to happen with Luchasaurus. I'm wondering, is he going to end up losing the mask? If he don't, he can just save some private time just to show me what's going on under all that. Up next, we had Renee Paquette with Jake Hager, Matt Menard, Angela Parker, and Anna Jay. Anna Jay has a match later on, and instead of focusing on her interview, all the boys are bickering about the match that they've just lost. Now, Anna Jay obviously wants to take a win tonight, but the boys are always arguing about something. And during this scene, we actually get to see Angelo Parker on his phone, and Ruby is like the screensaver or whatever you call it on his phone. And I'm just like, oh, that is so cute. They're already at the point of saving each other's faces as a screensaver on the phone. Great. Now up next we have Rush versus Jay White. This is obviously for the Continental Classic Tournament. And this right here felt like my favorite match because the energy is the energy that I was hoping we was going to get throughout the night. That they were just absolutely on point when it came to the energy. I did enjoy the main event, yes, but this just felt different compared to everything else. And Rush is just, oh my gosh, he's something about his personality that I absolutely love in the ring. And a lot of people don't embody that type of attitude while they're in the ring wrestling. So something about him that is really, really fun to see here. Now, when Jay White comes out, we do have the Bang Bang Gang. Well, actually, it's just the Guns. We do know that, well, some people might know, but Juice Robinson is injured right now. We don't know the extent of the injury, but we're hearing that it's not good and he'll be gone for quite some time. But we'll get some more details on that soon. Now, they do have a really great match. Like I said, my favorite match of the night. Now, Jay White actually cheats to win, giving Rush a low blow while referee was not looking. And he wins. And to be honest, I was like, Jay needs this win. Something about how he lost at Full Gear just didn't sit right with me. I knew he was going to lose, but I was hoping this was going to be something clean, no foolishness. And it was absolute foolishness when it came to the world title match and the whole storyline that was going on throughout the pay-per-view. So he definitely needed this win. He's only been pinned one time since he's been in AEW. So now he is, he is 14-1, obviously losing that last match. But this was my favorite match. Really great effort for these guys. And I'm wondering how far Jay is going to make it in terms of wins throughout this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if he end up winning everything on here. But like I said, I want Swerve to win this whole thing. So now they show us a clip from the media scrum where Ricky and Big Bill got into some exchanging words with Chris Jericho. Why was Chris Jericho on the media scrum? I don't know. I didn't want to see him there. We were all waiting for Swerve, and they gave us Chris Jericho. Whatever. Now they just showed a clip after the media scrum where Ricky and Bill, they attacked Chris Jericho. The main focus in this attack was on his right arm, so they can make sure that he would not be able to perform a Judas effect on either one of those guys when the Golden Jets get their title shot, for the AEW tag titles, whatever that's going to be. I would not be surprised if that will be at World's End pay-per-view. Now, after that, we do have Renee and RJ City presenting the AEW Women's title to Toni Storm. Mariah ends up presenting the title to her, and Toni Storm's like, oh, this is embarrassing. I didn't even prepare for this moment. And then she pulls out a speech, and then she's reading her little speech. Then the music kind of cuts her off, but she's not done with her speech, so now she has to continue, but she skims through it really, really quickly. And she's like, to all the little Toni Storms out there that want to be like me, you're not going to be like me. It's my time. It's my time to shine. So you guys should go out there and get a trade and find something to do with your lives. And I was just like, great, thanks. The moment was okay, but I don't know, it could have been better. Whatever. Right after that, we have Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue. Of course, Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho in this match. There's nothing to talk about. This match was absolutely, a way to kind of further this little love story that's going on with Angelo Parker and Ruby. I have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, I want to see wherever this story is going. It was too much of a distraction here. All this little horrible acting that everybody's doing ringside with Saraya and Matt and Angelo, all this stuff. It's just like, yo, I'm trying to see a freaking match here. And I know what you guys are saying. You're taking it too seriously. I'm not. I am a woman who support women's wrestling. And I do want to see that the only freaking time that they put women in the freaking ring on the show, they're doing all this other foolishness to distract you from what's going on in the ring with these girls. So in my opinion, I was like, I don't mind the storyline. I just wish that they did it in a way where this wouldn't be the main focus in this match. Sky Blue just somehow just thrown into this whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember who won this, but this is just way too much. Now up next, we have Renee Paquette backstage. She is with Wardlow. And she's like, Wardlow, like, so how long is it going to take for you to get your hands on MJF? MJF, obviously having the Triple B and Wardlow having beef with him or whatnot. Personally, I don't know where they're going with this whole thing, especially since there's other people in the title picture. But Wardlow is like, when it's time, he'll get his hands on MJF, whatever that's supposed to mean. And then here comes AR Fox, of all people, coming to be the voice of reason and trying to tell him to chill the fuck out. And here comes Wardlow headbutting him with that thick ass skull of his. And AR Fox falls to the ground, and obviously his face is hurting from getting headbutt. And I'm just like, okay, this really felt random. It really did. Now, if this is their way of announcing that Wardlow's gonna have a match with what's his name, AR Fox, then I guess I wouldn't mind seeing them. If he goes against AR Fox, there's no way it's going to be a squash match. No freaking way. So that would be great to see these two go at it in the ring, because they will not waste AR Fox like that. So if that's the case, then okay. But the moment felt really random. So now it is 9:54 and the bell is just now ringing for the main event. Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. Now, I forgot to say this earlier, but I do think that they need to put a freaking timer for us to know about this time limit. There's something about it where it just kind of feels like, you know, we're so used to just seeing a match that obviously have a time limit, but people don't necessarily pay attention to the time limit because it's not always a factor on these shows. Now, since it is a factor when it comes to these matches in a tournament, which is supposed to be a 20-minute time limit, you're watching and you're not necessarily seeing how much time is going by. I don't know. Personally, I would have preferred to see a timer. I do think that would make the audience or people who's watching at home kind of anticipate who's going to win even more, especially as the clock gets closer to the end. Now, they have a really great match. And I believe this is the first time that these two have been in the ring in singles competition. So it was great to see Mark Briscoe in this tournament. I don't really see him as someone who's going to end up winning this, but this will be great for him to have that experience, especially with some of the top guys in AEW. Now, a few minutes in during commercial break, Mark Briscoe is busted open, and I'm just like, is that Jon Moxley or is that Mark Briscoe? It was Mark Briscoe. Jon Moxley doesn't even bleed here. Obviously gets a little bit of blood from Mark Briscoe, but that's pretty much it. I really did enjoy this match. Jon Moxley wins. I didn't see why couldn't Mark Briscoe take the win. I don't know. Whatever it is about Jon Moxley that everybody love about him in the AEW back there is the reason why he took this win. It is what it is. I enjoyed them. They do what they do, but it still didn't feel like that same type of energy like what we had with Rush and Jay, which is the reason why I enjoyed that match a little bit more. Now, after the match, both of them do shake hands, and I'm just wondering what's going to happen with this tournament. I know some people don't seem necessarily happy about this tournament and just thinking that they're just going off of, you know, what they do in Japan and their tournaments and whatnot. It's a Japanese concept, to be honest. So yes, I get it. However, some people just don't care for it. Personally, I don't know if I care for it or if I don't. But what I want to see is some great matches with these guys. That's for one. And whoever ends up taking the win at the end of all this has to be really beneficial to have all three of these titles and what they end up doing with it, how this ends up advancing their careers. That's what I want to see. That's what needs to pay off at the end of it. So whether it's a tournament or not, I don't even care about that part. What happens when so-and-so ends up winning it? Personally, I don't want it to be one of these bigger stars like Moxley or Bryan Danielson Even Eddie Kingston, who hasn't necessarily had the best in his career so far, but he has the New Japan title, he has the Ring of Honor title, so that's okay. But I still want to see other people get more of a chance. So yes, I am gunning for Swerve Strickland, but I still want those guys who have not gotten bigger opportunities in their career so far. So we'll see where that goes. And another thing that I did see was people kind of complaining, like, we already saw Samoa Joe and MJF for fucking free. Why y'all want me to pay to see this on the pay-per-view? I get what people are complaining about here. You know, they've already given us that match. I do believe that it's not going to be the same when it comes to the pay-per-view, so things will be different for sure. They're definitely going to bring some drama, especially with Adam Cole or whatever. But at this point, I don't care. I just want to know what's going on with this person and the devil mask. They really need to pick it up when it comes to that story. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow after eating some turkey, which I really don't care to eat. I'll be back tomorrow with the Ring of Honor review. It looks like it's going to be a really, really good show.